Federal prosecutors are asking a judge in Los Angeles to review the decision to release a former FBI informant with links to Russian intelligence.
Why would you release him?
Why
would you release him?
I don't know, but why is everything with Donald Trump goes back to Vladimir Putin?
The guy has flight risk written on his forehead.
And they go after Hunter and Joe Biden, and it's about Russia. So anyhow, charged with lying to the FBI about Hunter and Joe Biden during the 2020 presidential campaign. The move comes after a federal judge ordered Alexander Smirnov to be released during a detention hearing in Las Vegas on Tuesday, but with several restrictions, including GPS monitoring and surrendering his passport. Special counsel David Weiss's team is now asking the federal court in California to keep Smirnov in detention because the California court will ultimately oversee the trial process. Prosecutors call 43-year-old Smirnov a serious flight risk and point to his extensive foreign contacts, which include someone in charge of a group whose job it is to carry out foreign assassinations.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think
not good.
We want to release him on his own.
And whom Smirnov implicated in a lie about Hunter Biden.
That Republicans in Congress swallowed up.
Yes, they
Russian
did.
Disinformation.
Whole.
Great job.
Prosecutors also contend Smirnov's lies present a current danger of election interference. The judge has not yet responded, and an additional court date has not yet been set. Smirnov has been key to the House Republicans' impeachment inquiry into President Biden, and Republican House Judiciary Chair Jim Jordan insisted yesterday that Smirnov's indictment for lying to the FBI does not change anything.
Wait. So Mika, hold on a second. So
yeah.
They've got a Russian, basically an informant that's spewing Russian disinformation.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
Right?
It doesn't change anything.
Then there's another key witness that they were freaking out, going, oh, he disappeared. Where did he go? We can't. Well, he's an international fugitive.
Doesn't change anything.
Illegally smuggled Iranian oil to the communist Chinese. He illegally sold arms. Like, this guy, again, still talking about a flight risk. He's still flying right now.
Listen.
And look at all the people, Comer and Arnold the Pig and all the other people on that committee and Barnyard Animals. Look at what they're doing right now. Like, they're still holding on.
They're holding on tight.
Despite the fact they keep, getting in the face.
We would show you Jim Jordan trying to explain this, but it would make your teeth hurt. Here's House Oversight Committee ranking member, the Democrat Jamie Raskin, who says they just need to drop it.
Yeah.
Just drop it.
Please.
I was hopeful that Chairman Comer would be announcing today the end of the whole impeachment investigation. It's been a wild goose chase built on conspiracy theory and lies from the beginning, and now we know that Russian intelligence operatives were behind creating the propaganda and disinformation at the very foundation of this investigation. So I think it's time for Chairman Comer and the Republicans to fold up the circus tent, and we should get back to work for the American people.
It's amazing.
Oh, my God.
A congressional investigation built on Russian propaganda and lies and built on international fugitives.
Not dangerous
Great
at all.
job, guys.
Let's bring in congressional investigations reporter for the Washington Post, Jackie Alemany, and NBC News justice and intelligence correspondent Ken Delaney.
Jackie, what next? I mean, this Comer committee, and this is me talking, not you as a reporter, this is me talking, but the way it looks to me is this Comer committee has humiliated itself time and time and time again. And now we find ourselves in a position where they just opened their arms wide and accepted Russian disinformation and propaganda to come in to the United States Congress.
That's exactly right, Joe. And to be very clear, I mean, the impeachment inquiry into Biden was never quite alive in the House, at least as compared to the impeachment of Alejandro Mayorkas. But there's always been skepticism and an inability for James Comer and Jim Jordan to convince more of their skeptical colleagues that there was a there, that they had been able to unearth anything. And I mean, these accusations that Comer and Jordan have leveled for the course of a year, really, have never fully panned out. But the basis of this investigation, even before this whole debate over the 1023 confidential human source materialized, that James Comer and Jordan, in that clip that you showed at the top of the show, have claimed is true, has never been true. This is this idea that Biden fired Ukrainian prosecutor Viktor Shokin because he was looking into Burisma. The Washington Post, the New York Times, many mainstream outlets have reported over and over again that there's been no such proof to show that Viktor Shokin was investigating Burisma or interested in Burisma in any way, and that Biden deciding to fire Shokin was related to him investigating Burisma. So, I mean, this confidential human informant sort of blowing up in a really spectacular fashion on the heels of a number of other missteps that House GOP investigators have committed at this point is, I think, just a very public version and view into the double dealing and the backspeak that Republicans have been engaging in when it comes to presenting these pieces of evidence. Even at the time last year, I was on this show, we were talking about how Comer and Chuck Grassley were engaged in pure political theater and really using process of the House to elevate what they knew to be unsubstantiated claims. And what we reported at the time were claims that the FBI and the DOJ under Bill Barr, during the Trump administration, had looked into, found not to be supported by the facts, and subsequently closed the investigation into this guy. But now, I think that indictment couldn't make it clearer that this, again, foundational piece of evidence has been fabricated. But I do want to note as well that Smirnov is very clearly thought to be by the Justice Department a liar and a very untrustworthy confidential human source, and that he claims to have had contacts with Russian intelligence. But at this point in time, we don't actually know or have further corroboration that he has actually had those contacts with high-level Russian intelligence.